I'm on the Skype call right now with Mitski, New York to New York. So via the blizzard though, so we're hanging in there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to first talk to you about your awesome album that's out now, "Bury
Oh
Me at
yeah.
Makeout Creek." Everybody loves it, right? It's like that's got to be pretty cool. What's that like? Everyone digging your music so much right now.
uh, it's cool. I wasn't thinking about who would like my music. I just kind of made it and put it out, and I didn't even put it out the right way. It feels weird, first of all, that like people found my music, and then that people seem to like it. So I don't know.
I mean, you kind of just stealthily like emerged onto the scene. That
Oh
was
yes,
that.
the scene.
Yeah, yeah. You're getting in like big magazines now, so it is interesting how people found your stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the thing is, this is my third record, and I've been making music for a while. For the first two records, I didn't play live, hear my music if I didn't play it out. So I started like playing everywhere. I took up guitar so it would be easier to play everywhere, because before that I was playing piano. And I think that was actually what really helped, just like playing show after show after show.
I was gonna ask you before how your music style changed from your previous releases. You mostly played the piano, and I was wondering what made you switch to sort of like a guitar rock sound. But that's cool that it had to do with a lot about playing live.
Yeah. I just realized that I didn't have the resources to kind of recreate the music I was making live. Like, I would need a lot more money and space for that, and just people power in general. So I figured I should do what I could while I was here.
That's something we can talk about. Is what is the state? We're both in the New York City music environment right now, and so many venues are closing, and a lot of people are leaving, and some people are saying, "Oh, Brooklyn like is going to be new," and Queens. Like, what's your opinion on that? Like, do you think music's going to survive in New York City while the rents just keep going up?
I honestly don't. I don't. Music will always survive, just like different kinds of music. And I think the people who can afford to stay here and pursue music the way the industry is set up are people who are probably already privileged or just have a leg up. So they will probably be able to keep doing it. And also the people who have, first and foremost, money in mind will probably keep surviving here. Yeah, so I think New York being so gentrified and expensive will create an environment where money comes first, or like music that makes money is the focus. And that's a world in itself, and that's a whole other industry. Um, yeah, so I think the environment will just change. I don't think the music will go away, but it I am thinking of moving out of Brooklyn. Number one, because like, admittedly, I'm part of the gentrifying force. Like, I'm not from here. I'm from elsewhere. And so I feel like I don't want to participate in that. And also, it's so expensive. It's so unbelievably expensive. It's just so disheartening, because being here also just makes me think about money all the time, and everything I do has to do with money, and that's such a depressing, like, the amount of rent I pay for the amount of space I have is ridiculous, and I still have like a really good deal. And it's just to get anywhere or do anything, I need money, and so I'm always thinking about it. It's just, and so that, like, that's dangerous, because then it affects like my career decisions, where I make choices based on money instead of like other things that should be more important to me.
Yeah,
So
and kind of in a backwards way too, because normally when you hear about musicians making choices for money, it's like, oh, will they sell out for the big dollars? But here it's more like, can I afford to eat and record my music like at least like out of a basement? Like, can I
yeah,
afford the not basement recording studio? I don't know. Like, that's the kind of
yeah,
thing that New York. There's so much cool stuff and cool people here and all that, but just
yeah.
because of the cost, it does like kind of weigh on everything.
Yeah.
But talking about recording, what was the recording process like for your last album? You recorded that with a friend of yours, right?
Yeah, I recorded that with a small group of people with Patrick. Patrick's the one who engineered it, and he also helped me record my second album, and he helped me record this fourth one that I just finished recording in January. Or I guess it's January now. So I just finished. Yeah, and we've worked together so much that we just get our rhythms. We don't have to explain a lot. We just like, okay, you do that, I'll do this. You do that, I'll do this, but without words. So it's really conducive. And I feel like I've just become so dependent on him that I can't record with anyone else now.
I'm sure that he's pretty happy about that now. He's got Mitski on his case, giving him all these props. But is that him also that I heard on your Twitter? You said he gave your album as his final or something.
Oh, yeah, that was so boss. So what he did was he just graduated from college, SUNY Purchase, where I went to. That's how we met. And he was a studio production major, and for his final project, instead of like writing a paper or something, he just walked into the office and like handed in my Rolling Stone review and walked out, and that was like done.
And he dropped the mic, and everyone was just like, ah! That is pretty awesome. So you recorded this new stuff with him as well. Is that going to sound a lot like your other albums, or what is that going to sound like?
You know what? To like borrow critic jargon, I think it's gonna sound much more mature. For the first time, I went into it knowing exactly what I wanted. I could record it in the span of like 2 weeks, which is like the shortest amount of time I've recorded something. And we haven't mixed it obviously, but yeah, so I went into it knowing exactly what I want and tracking it. And it was just the two of us, just him and me, both playing all the instruments and no one else in the studio. So I think that's also why it went so quickly. But yeah, so it was the most efficient. The process didn't involve like noodling in the way that my other records did. And I can't say for sure if it's actually going to be good or not, but I'd say I went into it knowing what I wanted.
Well, I'm very excited to hear it. So since you've just finished it, I guess it'll come out sometime this year, so that will be a pretty big one.
No, because it'll probably, I want it to come out in early 2016, because 2015 I just wanted to be on the road for the whole year. So, and a lot of like putting out a record requires like, being in one place and handling things. So this year's going to be a lot of like touring, and then the year after that is probably going to be the year for the next record.
Very cool. So we'll expect that in most anticipated 2016 already. So a lot of touring this year. What is the place that you're most excited to play at?
Well, the places I want to play are different from the places I want to visit. I've always wanted to go to New Orleans and I've never been. So that'll be cool. I want to go to places that not only that I haven't been, but that are just like part of like, the whole like American consciousness of what these places are supposed to be like the South or like the West Coast, or and like see for myself whether the mythology is true. And I want to see all like the American landscapes, because I did one cross country tour where I went through like Colorado and Wyoming and stuff, and that was like tear-inducingly beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to like seeing the nooks and crannies of America.
Yeah, I'm big on that as well. I grew up always like doing these like long ass road trips with my family, so I'm big into like traveling to these weird spots.
Yeah.
It's cool the stuff that you can find though.
Yeah, and it's cool. America is such a big country that even though it's one country, each place has such a distinct character.
You keep saying America. I heard that you grew up abroad, right?
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
I I grew up all over because because of my father's job. So I moved to a different country every year, every other year. And I think that's where my fascination with America comes from, because my passport says from here, but I never grew up here, so it's just like I have like this outsider view, but also I'm from here, so it's a constant negotiation.
Wow. The ultimate the world citizen you are. That's pretty cool, though. So that has to do probably a lot with your diverse influences, because I can't really figure where your music comes from. What would you say your influences are, like, when you're writing music? Like, what do you listen to figure out how to put songs together?
Well, the thing is, the things I like sound nothing like the things that come out of me, because we're not nothing like, but my biggest hero is like MIA, and I love Bjork. I can't believe her new. I'm not going to talk about her new thing. And also, but so I don't. And I love Bruce Springsteen, Prince, just like all these artists that are very unique that I don't sound like. I think my influence comes from like whatever entered my brain when I was younger and I was still forming, and I had no choice of what came into my brain, you know? So a lot of like my mother's like 70s, 80s Japanese pop music, and my father, who's like a big ethnomusicology guy, so he listened to a lot of like Smithsonian Folkways recordings and stuff. So it was a mix of those with like whatever pop music was around me, or like whatever pop music was on MTV abroad. So whatever pop music is like 5 years late.
In a weird way, you actually got the better music taste, though. Because you probably avoided all the worst stuff that we got drowned with over here.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. That would make sense why I can't really place a lot of your sounds if I haven't heard much Japanese music or old folk recordings, you know?
Yeah, I think that's why I focus so much on melody, because both of those genres, in my opinion, just focus a lot on melody. And so for me, like the melody's the most important thing, or just the melody that carries the words is really important.
A lot of your words in your song are like intensely personal or like so interesting in some way. Does that ever get like embarrassing for you to like go out there and just play these songs?
It's embarrassing not to play the songs, but like to hear about other people listening to my music with like a sober mind, because when I'm writing it and when I'm performing it, I'm kind of in my own world, so I'm not thinking about other people. When I'm just like totally rational, normal, everyday Mitski, and someone's like, "Hey, I love your lyric about blah blah blah," I'm like, "Ah, stop!"
You're like, "I'm not a rock star right now, no." That's pretty interesting. So I guess we'll get to some more just fun questions, like what are you going to do for your snow day? Are you chilling in, or are you forced to work through this thing?
I'm chilling in. I mean, like, I would never like go outside my room unless I was required to, unless I had to make money. So as long as like I don't have to, I'm like an embarrassing amount of just introverted homebody. I really just I even honestly just like going to shows, even though once I get to shows I know I'll enjoy it, and you know I love music and I love watching shows, just getting there is like, oh, I have to leave my room.
That is the same way that I am. I like to be here. I like to have my stuff and chill.
Yeah.
I'm in my environment. I'm doing the music stuff. It's like, oh, I have to go like shake people's hands. Like, oh. But there is a lot of fun stuff to do in this city. But sometimes you got to force yourself to deal with lots of people in order to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what's some music coming up that you are listening to recently, or excited for, that's coming out soon?
Oh geez. I mean, just a lot of my friends are coming out with new things, like Painted Zeros by which is Katie, my friend Katie's band, is starting to get is just like coming out with a new thing, and they're going to be really active. Eskimo, obviously, yeah, he is the most wonderful person. Actually, just a lot of people I know who have been working on something for a long time are coming out with a new thing in 2015, so I'm like very excited about how those are going to progress. Honestly, like I don't know if I've listened to music by non-friends recently anymore, because there are just so many bands I already know that like have shit and are just like, listen to this.
So that and Bjork.
Oh my god. Ugh. And also the I can't talk about Bjork, I'm gonna start crying. But the Run the Jewels record, it already came out, but that, like, the more I listen to it, the more I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good. All of their stuff's so good. I'm excited about it. That's pretty funny to hear from you. I'm excited that you listen to that too. All smart minds agree. Run the Jewels.
Yeah, it's so good. I also feel like it's just such a... I mean, I'm not in any position to talk about rap music or hip-hop because I'm not in that world. And it just feels like such a return to what hip-hop or, like, rap is supposed to be about, you know? Because, like, Killer Mike talks about, like, real stuff. And it goes back to, like, the Public Enemy age when they were still, you know, about, like, rebelling. And that's, like, actual punk rock, you know?
That's why like Wu-Tang Clan used to play with Rage Against the Machine and stuff like that. Like that's what I love about rap. So I'm definitely pumped to see that coming back. That is the New York style too. So I'm rep New York to the end.
Yeah, that's the thing about New York that keeps me here, or just like keeps me a little excited about it, because I see people around me starting to kind of really be pushed to dissatisfaction so much that they're revolting or they're starting to question authority, and I think like that's healthy and really necessary. I mean, it's sad that we've gotten to a point where that's necessary, but yeah,
it's definitely time for some changes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much all the questions I had for you. I had a great time talking to you, so I'm gonna have to go out and catch you in Brooklyn sometime soon.
Very cool.
Well, I'll be in touch and talk to you later, but thanks for doing this, and I'll let you know when it's up.
Yeah, thank you for doing this too. It's good.